The Devil May Cry series has had quite a run. The first redefined the hack-and-slash genre, the second was one of the most disappointing sequels ever, and the third was a return to form. Now Part 4 is here for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but is it Slatanic bliss or a total miss? This time around, Dante takes a back seat to newcomer Nero. Not that it's easy to tell the difference between the two. Nero is part of a secret society that worships Sparta, a character fans of the series should remember. Out of nowhere, Dante invades the cult ceremony, taking out its leader. Nero steps up to protect the Order and finds himself in a duel that he inevitably loses. The Order sends him on a quest to bring Dante to justice, and his girlfriend gets caught up in the mess, adding a rescue mission to the to-do list. Along the way, Nero rubs shoulders with a huge cast of interesting characters, and not all of them are initially what they seem. There are undoubtedly twists and turns that you won't see coming. There's just one problem. It's all tarnished by some of the corniest writing ever.
Well, if the kid screws up, then I'll just have to kick his ass.
We don't know if it's the language barrier or just renting too many straight-to-rental action flicks, but the constant one-liners in DMC4 are neither funny nor clever.
Hate to interrupt, but I want to wrap this show up before the cavalry arrives.
Devil May Cry 4 is split up into 20 different chapters. There are 2 different difficulty settings to choose from at the outset, and be sure to select wisely. If you get halfway into the game and find that it's too challenging, you can't knock it down to easy and continue on. You have to start from the beginning again, and we definitely had problems finding a happy medium.
Damn it!
Linearity is the order of the day here. There's just one way to get through the game. Surprisingly, there's a good bit of backtracking to be done, and with no waypoint indicator or list of mission objectives, there's certainly the possibility of running around aimlessly. Still, most of the challenge in DMC4 does not come from solving puzzles or pathfinding. Compared to most high-profile action games these days, you'll get a lot of playtime out of Nero and Dante's adventure. In addition to the main quest, there's a series of secret missions hidden throughout the game, and only the most skilled players will be able to get through it in less than a dozen hours on the default difficulty setting. Challenge is one thing that DMC series is known for. You'll get all you can handle in Part 4, though the difficulty doesn't really ramp up as you play. Instead, there are sections of the game that are almost too easy, and then you'll be hit with a part that can seem almost impossible. This is remedied a bit by the easier difficulty setting mentioned earlier and an option that will automate combos. And combos are what Devil May Cry 4 is all about. The fighting system is 100% offensive and incredibly deep. For the novice, understanding how it all works will be a bit too much, and there are definitely parts of the game where you'll have to master some of the intricacies to move forward. The big addition to Nero's combat skill is the Devil Bringer, his possessed arm that allows him to snatch enemies out of midair and slam them to the ground. It's also used to reach ledges that are too high to jump to. Just like Nero's swords and guns, you can level up the Devil Bringer using orbs that you collect from fallen foes and smashed objects. Orbs can also be spent to buy extra health and magic, upgrade weapons, or learn new abilities altogether. About 2/3 of the way through the game, you get to take control of the old hero, Dante. He still has his 4 different attack styles from DMC3, except now you can switch them on the fly using the D-pad, which is a simple yet appreciated feature. He also has a bevy of new offensive moves, including one of the coolest power-ups in the history of video games, that we won't spoil for you here. Now for where it gets complicated. Devil May Cry 4 includes the same juggle-happy combat as its predecessors. It's a blast, tossing enemies up into the air, blasting them with the gun, and then slamming them into the ground. This can take some manual dexterity, but it goes much deeper than that. This time around, the game includes an exceed meter that allows you to increase the power of some of Nero's attacks by squeezing the left trigger. Then there's the Devil Trigger, which allows both Dante and Nero to show their dark side for some demon-fueled mayhem. It operates on a timer, but it can be upgraded with orbs to add longevity.
Come on!
While the combat is better than ever, the other elements aren't as successful. Early on, you're asked to smack large steel objects called gyro blades from one side of the level to the other. It's annoying and not the least bit fun. The same goes for the simple puzzles, or any time you're asked to complete intricate jumps or navigate narrow pathways. The controls simply aren't there, and neither is the camera. The fixed perspectives result in awkward transitions from one camera to the next, and rob you of the view